we're going to talk SUI, Ondo, and XRP. Why? Because I've got good news for all three, along with the CFTC commissioner leaving their job. They're pro-crypto, but they're going to a crypto place, so it's even better for us. Price action at the end.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Oh yes, a video filled with great crypto news all around. Like a player leaving the CFTC to head up another position that can help the entire crypto market. But before we get there, what do? Well, if you're a new viewer, you're like, yo bro, I don't know what we do. We do your comments first. Yeah, because you, the viewer, matter most. And then we get into crypto news. Shane Wilkins dropped some support on the channel. Guess what, Shane? I responded to your comment while I was running. Well, I technically wasn't running. I was taking a break in between two of the intervals that I had today. So Shane, kudos to you. Shane says thank you. I say you're welcome and thank you for supporting the channel. Yeah, in between intervals. AIM USI CQC says, Klaus, for Presidente, love it, but I don't know if you want Klaus in the office unless you want it to be 420 every day. Well, wait a minute. Maybe I would get a lot of votes if I did that. Music for Revival says, okay, now I want Klaus's voice on my sat nav. Right turn up ahead, girlfriend. Choo-choo bitches every time you set off. That'd be pretty freaking cool. And you know what the car icon would be? It would be a Carrera 4S in sky blue with black accents. Be a pretty cool nav system, wouldn't it? Garmin, hook us up. Bitcoin sitting at 103,538 while ETH is 2604. XRP is at 256 while Sol's at 177. ADA is at 80 cents. But I've got good news for all of us. Why? We touched some lows. Touch the subscribe button. Touch yourself if you're feeling lonely. There's nothing wrong with it. But here's the deal. We touched some lows. We've rebounded from those lows. We're going to do some charting later. Why? Well, because I just told you why. I'm not going to repeat myself. But first, SUI teams up with 21 shares to expand SUI adoption. The collaboration revealed on Wednesday, May 14th. Hey, that's today. Hit that subscribe button, shameless plug, comes as the ETP provider, which has a significant digital asset presence in Europe, seeks to expand into the U.S. market. I like that. According to Team SUI, Switzerland-based 21 Shares is leveraging SUI to enter the American market. Institutional adoption of SUI amid fresh traction for decentralized finance and real-world assets could fuel further growth for the SUI token. By the way, SUI still looking pretty good. Had a little trouble maintaining the $4 price action, but we've seen that, right? Some of our favorites out there have been touching some good numbers, haven't held on to those good numbers. Why? Because we need just that little bit more good news to bring us where we want to go. Let's get to a really good quote. Partnering with SUI speaks to where we see the future of blockchain and infrastructure heading, said Federico Brocate, head of U.S. business at 21 Shares. Love the accent, thank you. We believe SUI has technical underpinnings, DeFi and developer ecosystems, and institutional alignment to play a central role in crypto for a long time. By the way, SUI first got into the map, like the actual, like, the, oh my gosh, everyone's paying attention to it, when Grayscale launched a trust product for them. Yeah, that's when SUI went from sub $1 to above $1. Yeah, I've been covering them that long, and here we are at $3.93. Now let's touch a little bit of Ondo news. Ondo Finance partners with JP Morgan and Chainlink for the first cross-chain DVP transaction. Golf clap. Golf clap. Ondo Finance is teaming up with financial services partner JP Morgan and Chainlink to deliver versus payment, DVP test transaction. This transaction is a step forward in the quest to bring bank payment rails to the broader real-world assets market. We've heard real-world assets now several times, haven't we, in this video? Yes, we have. For this milestone, Ondo teamed up with Connexus by JP Morgan, the financial services behemoth blockchain business unit. Yeah, that's JP Morgan's blockchain business unit. Also powering the transaction was Chainlink, with the collaboration tapping into the Ondo chain testnet. Specifically, the public test transaction involved Ondo's flagship tokenized fund, the Ondo Short-Term U.S. Treasuries Fund. It also utilized Connexus' digital payments offering and Chainlinks. Why would they pick Ondo? Well, let's learn. The debut transaction on Ondo's chain testnet with both Connexus at JP Morgan and Chainlink isn't just a major milestone, it's a statement about the future of finance. We're thrilled to collaborate with two of the most influential players in crypto and traditional finance to demonstrate the power of compliant, scalable blockchain infrastructure for real-world assets, said Nathan Allman, Chief Executive Officer of Ondo Finance. Two good news things. You want to keep going with more good news? Yes. Oh, by the way, noticing a little bit of theme here. Traditional finance wanting to play with what? Wanting to play in the crypto pool. That's why you got to stay hot, naughty, spicy, and relevant. That's why when I bring your quotes up in the beginning, there's some relevance to it. Yes. There's some naughtiness to it. The spiciness. Yes. Let's learn more. CFTC loses another pro-crypto commissioner amid understaffing concerns. Look, everyone is understaffed in the government. Why? Because Doge wanted to make some cuts. Well, and let's be real here. The government's too damn big to begin with, and they just piss our money away. Summer Mersinger, a pro-crypto commissioner at the CFTC, will resign on May 30th to become, now this is where it's cool for us, the Blockchain Association's next CEO. That is freaking huge for us. Why? Because the Blockchain Association fights for stuff that we're all into. President Trump has already appointed Brian Kentes as the next CFTC's chair. However, his confirmation could take months. We saw how long it took for Paul Atkins, right? Yeah. Welcome, United States government. Overpromising and underdelivering. You ain't getting shit done anytime soon. President Trump has already appointed him, and it may take months. I repeated myself. Why? I don't know. Could be the medication. The Blockchain Association is an important political advocate for pro-crypto regs in the U.S., funding court battles, creating industry connections, and the warning of potential threats to the sector. Today it announced Summer Mersinger. To be fair, Mersinger could do a huge amount of good in this outside advocacy role. I totally agree. The CFTC, you're kind of handcuffed. SEC, you're handcuffed as well. But being the CEO of the Blockchain Association, that's freaking big. A big advocacy group for things that we believe in. Now, I've got a big date for XRP holders. What's that date? Well, some of you know about it and some of you don't. Why? Well, because I saw that only a few thousand of you watched the video. Well, I know it's not your fault. The problem is this. YouTube algorithm did not push that video. Why? I don't know. Maybe I didn't show enough skin. I don't freaking know what's going on. Maybe there was too much naughtiness in the video. I don't know. But either way, I'm telling you the date. The date is May 19th. Why? XRP ETF launch. From who? The CME Group. Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Look, I'm also wearing my Chicago White Sox shirt. They still suck balls, but not as much balls as last year. By the way, for everyone listening at work, try not to laugh as I say my next phrase. Balls, balls, balls. The cryptocurrency market is now watching closely to see how XRP will react in the days before and after May 19th, as the latest data from CoinMarketCap says, yo, we've got CME futures. Why? Because in the 2018 launch of CME's Bitcoin futures led to a sharp market correction. And it also led to future products. That's a big step. You get the futures market going. You then get other products launched, revolved around that. Now, here's the deal. It's settled in cash, not in XRP, so that does suck. But it's going to keep us relevant, and that's what I shared earlier today. Now, what are we noticing trend-wise here besides the red up on the screen? Boo! Boo! Yeah, I'm just calling boo to the red. We're noticing the volume is starting to tick down. But overall, the volume is better than what we've seen. And that, for me, is a good thing. Now, check this out, okay? Look at the volume bars here on the bottom, all right? That's what I'm showing you right here. We had the big pumperoni in November. But before November, right, if I just hover over some dates, okay, volume, 92 billion, 40 billion, 71, 56, 35, 44, 131, 101, 85. Okay, now where are we at? 174, 131, 129, 148. See what I'm saying? This is good. So our volume is still way higher than where we were before the November pumperoni. But to give you an idea of where we were, look at when we had the November pumperoni, 235 billion, 198, 239, 250, 150, 288, 284. So you can see where I'm going with this. We're still high in the volume, and some of us may be high from other things. I'm not. I can't have fun yet. I'm still in recovery mode, okay? Look, be kind, do one for me, because I freaking can't. But volume is there. Institutional money, still there as well. Open interest, there as well. It's looking good for us. Now, in terms of XRP, we did touch a little low. The low we touched was at 252. Now, watch what happens when I do this, okay? That 252 that we touched on the low. And in fact, let's do this. Let's go to the candlesticks, because that's a lot of green up on the screen. I ain't got no problem with that. Let's go to the 15-minute. Why? Because that 252 that we got right here was well above anything that we were thinking of earlier, right? We got rejected at the point where we saw earlier today, which matched what? The point on May 12th. So we had a little sell-off, Roni. Then we kind of got to the rejection point of that 251. Technically, 251.94 will round up and go 252. Kind of coming up since then. We got nowhere near the 245, so now we're looking at this going, yo. So you're telling me we got a lot of support above 250 right now for XRP? So we might be in a tight range-bound situation between 260 and 250 for a while. I'm okay with that. Why? Because we got a lot of good things happening in the crypto market right now. This isn't like 2024, the first half with Gary Gensler just wrecking the crap out of us, or Lizzie Warren and the Shermanator just peeing in our Cheerios all the time. No, this is the good news era of crypto. So the fact that we're seeing support happen quicker, the fact that there will be, I'm going to leave that in because I still make mistakes. The fact that we're still rebounding from the price action is great. Now, is the volume starting to kind of dwindle down a little bit with XRP? Yes. But 5 billion is still super healthy, everyone. I know. A lot of you out there are like, bro, the market really heats up when we get to that 10 billion level. And it's true, it does. A lot of players come out of the woodwork, a lot of money, especially retail money comes out at that time too. But 5 billion right now, on a Wednesday, with the market knowing, and I'm telling you right now, the market knows we ain't getting any rate cuts anytime soon. This is good. Also know we're not going to get a trade deal for like, what, 86 days? Awesome. So the fact that we've got a green trend going on with a couple macros that don't look the best for us is a good thing. Why? Because traditional finance more and more is working with crypto. They're testing stuff, and we're getting players from the regulatory environment slide into crypto advocacy groups, which is good for us. And we got some futures action with XRP, which is good for us. And institutional money is still flowing in. And we're getting support at higher levels. This is all good news for us. So, Jerome Powell, cool. You might not give us a rate cut, but the market is looking well ahead of that. And if we go to the 1 month chart for XRP, yo, this green pumperoni right here from the 210 mark to where we're sitting right now is all about trade talks. So as long as something with the United States and China doesn't go haywire sideways, yo, we should have some green on the screen for a while. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo, no. We're not at the outro yet. And now I get it. Some of you are going to be like, but bro, we're not at the $3 range for XRP. SUI's not at $5. BTC's not touching all-time highs. And I get that. Trust me, I get that. But we're also not constantly pushing the price down. We're not fighting and looking for floor support. We're constantly looking up, and that's what's good about this. And the best part about it is, think in the past, whenever we had bad news from Jerome Powell in terms of like not getting rate cuts, the market has reacted negatively. And now the market's like, good, Jerome, go F yourself. And remember when the stablecoin bill got killed and I broke you that story? Well, if this was 2024, the crypto market would have pissed itself. And now the crypto market's like, cool, we don't care, just bring us good trade news. This is a way stronger market than what we had even 6 months ago. Now, if we get some regs, some stablecoin regs, some crypto regs to make this stuff permanent rather than like executive order stuff, because look, the executive order stuff ain't permanent, right? The next El Presidente, the next El Jefe, El Guapo could come in and make their own executive orders don't do this stuff. But if we get like permanent regs like through Congress, ooh, that could cement in a lot of juicy goodness. So, what we're going to do is this. For the rest of the day, we're going to chill out. We're going to enjoy the action on the screen. And we're going to enjoy the support. Why? Because the market is in a way better place than where we were 6 months ago. And you know what? I'm zooming out, looking at all this, going, choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches.